of the mistakes is looking at vaccines and autism is charged. Let's change the conversation a little bit. Let's talk about bronchitis. Let's talk about respiratory illnesses. Let's talk about asthma. Let's talk about juvenile diabetes. In an unvaccinated population like ours, they virtually do not exist. I wrote my master thesis in public health on the correlation between breastfeeding and type 1 diabetes. And I thought that was the key point because we had at that time about 11,000 unvaccinated children, all breastfed. And I thought the correlation was breastfeeding causing a low incidence of type 1 diabetes. We had one case out of 11,000, and the incidence then was running 1 in 50, 1 in 75. So we should have expected 30, 40, 50 cases. I was wrong. It was most probably the vaccines that were the issue. No vaccines, essentially no type 1 diabetes. And it's very interesting. I'll tell you why I know that for sure now, or with a high degree of certainty. We have about 15% of women who aren't able, for one reason or another, to nurse their baby. It's mainly the economic times. They're out working full time shortly after the babies are born. None of them are vaccinated who are coming to us. We have hundreds and hundreds of children like this. They're just as healthy for all practicality. They have no diabetes. They have no respiratory illnesses, which is interesting because it doesn't mean that breastfeeding isn't important. But if I had to rank 4 things, the highest ranking of the healthiest children will be breastfed and unvaccinated. Very close behind that will be bottle-fed and unvaccinated. Way below that will be breastfed and vaccinated, and way below that will be breastfed and unvaccinated, or which is really depressing in a sense, because it turns out that the vaccine damage far surpasses the ability of the body to overcome it with breastfeeding. And so it's encouraging in a sense because there's so little breastfeeding in this country right now. But that's why it's exciting. I think that the health of the children are going to be increasing as the number of unvaccinated children exponentially grows. As the media is just talking about we were going to be returning of plagues because of unvaccinated children, we're going to find just the opposite.